peace, and love, flowers. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Monica, aka the Sunflower Oracle. How y'all blooming today? I hope these messages find you well, bring you truth, clarity, and confidence in your journey. Please make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe if you like the vibe here. Join this beautiful tribe blossoming and blooming to their highest and fullest potential. I have a channeled message for you guys. So take the energy as it resonates. Don't force anything to fit your situation, as energies can be past, present, future, or the roles can be reversed, or this just simply isn't your story. All right. I have not done any shadow energy in a while. I feel like I've been channeling a lot of love and light in the last however many videos I done posted. So in the future, near future, I'm going to do what is their karma video, but I got a channel message yesterday or 2 days ago that I wanted to bring to the garden. Beloved wanted me to speak on it with the collective. Okay, and the channel message that I got was looking for validation in anything other than the divine source is karmic energy. All right, now this can be if you have a karmic person, a karmic situation, a karmic job, whatever the situation is, whatever you are holding on to that you are seeking validation in, from, whatever is no longer serving you, that energy is codependent energy. And we're going to try to talk about a little bit what codependency is, what it looks like, and then we're going to talk about how you can break that. We're going to get some messages from the ancestors, angels, spirit guides, from beloved, in order for you guys to overcome this. Okay, now like I said, you could be dealing with a karmic person, place, or thing, or you yourself could be in some type of karmic energy. This doesn't necessarily have to be this is just a karma situation. This when karma, because karma is not only what you do, it's karma is what you don't do or what you didn't do. Okay. So let's break it down a little bit. So the message, looking for validation in anything other than the divine source is karmic energy. When you're looking for validation in someone else, you often look for validation through money. You try to, nice cars, nice house, nice clothes, overworking, overspending, okay? Trying to prove to yourself or to others around you that you have money, that you have worth, that you have value, that you have status. Living beyond your means is another form of trying to find validation. Okay, when you are looking for this validation, and you're in this codependent energy, by definition, it restricts a person's ability to be whole, fulfill their potential, and be healthy due to self-neglect with the aim of receiving love, validation, or approval. All right, by definition, by the books, the definition of codependency. All right. So codependency is usually rooted from childhood. A lot of our childhood traumas, a lot of codependent issues, trauma stems from how we were raised, how our parents raised us, how they reacted to us. When your emotions are ignored or punished by your parents, it results in low self-esteem, self-worth, and shame. You don't feel validated. You don't feel validated, and your parents are usually the first people that come to that validate you, that show you that you care, that your opinion matters, that you're smart, that you're beautiful, that you're capable, that you have potential, that they see something in you. Okay, and when your parents kind of ignore even just the small things, as when you were a child, they ignore that painting, or they didn't come to your games, or they didn't support your competitions, or they didn't teach you, I don't know, how to drive, or there's always put other people, maybe other siblings above you. They just didn't have enough time for you. Whatever the case may be, where they just worked too much and they felt like you could always be doing better, or you're not as good as your sister, or you're not as athletic as your brother, like whatever, like what the fuck ever, you know. So this in turn, as you go about your years, you start to kind of allow certain behaviors, allow certain codependent behaviors, allows certain codependent energy to kind of manifest in your life, because that's all you know. That's all you've been kind of groomed to know, to understand. So let's talk about some characteristics of codependency, so that you guys know what it looks like, so that we can better break these kind of cycles to kind of change. All right, 555 on the clock. So let's see. Characteristics of codependency. I'm actually going to leave a link to the site where I got this information. This is just kind of bullet points really quick, because I still wanted to get some message for you guys, okay? Characteristics of codependency. You can be hyper aware of other people's needs to avoid being blamed for their unhappiness, for someone else's unhappiness. You are, I feel like a couple of these go hand in hand, but I get people pleaser energy off of that very heavy. Like you don't want to be the bad guy, or you don't want to be the bad cop, or you don't want to be blamed. It was your fault, you did this, this is why, so and so and so. You learned that very early on in childhood, that you know, that people pleasing, that when you because this is what I was talking about, kind of going hand in hand. In childhood, having a preference or speaking up was punished, so you quickly learned that letting others have their way spared you from that pain. You didn't like, in childhood, if you voice your opinion that you didn't like something, or you didn't want to do something, or that you just simply, as you got older, you started to stand up for yourself, have a little voice, kind of contradict what your parents may have said, or what they might have thought, and that was punished. And that should never be the case in your household. Like, children are people too. Children are little people. All right, they're little people, and they have opinions, they have voices, they matter. I'm actually thinking about working on a spiritual like awakening book for children, like in a pathway into their spirituality, so they kind of know what things look like, because children are very, very spiritual, and it isn't until we get older and we get brainwashed by the matrix that all that kind of those natural downloads that you get when you're in the womb, that natural the natural language of the ethers. When babies come out, they don't speak English, they don't speak any language, they speak Babel, they speak the language. I feel like I got a download one day that I feel like baby Babel is the original language, is the language of the ethers, and whatever dialect that we were diluted with to speak, we were stripped away from our natural language. So our connection, our source, our language, the letters, even down to the simple letters, the words that we use, the pronunciation of words that we use, that's all intentional. Like literally today, all of that is intentional, because it's a diluted version of us, of the natural, instinctual, original kind of energy, kind of language that we were born in. Like I was saying, as a child, and when you're in the womb as a fetus, if you think about it, everything is born in a womb. Everything is born in darkness, and it grows in darkness. So yeah, it's just being in. I forgot where my train of thought was going with that. Bring it back, beloved. All right, so being aware of that, being aware of that pain, of the, I don't know where I was going with that, but being aware of your pain, of being not validated, that darkness. You don't want to be blamed. You don't want to be blamed for other people's unhappiness, all right? So you believe love and pain are synonymous, okay? Believing love and pain are synonymous. You feel like being hurt, being disrespected, being chastised, being used, abused is the same as somebody loving you, because that's all that you knew, that's all that you learned in childhood. That's all that you knew, that's all that you learned in childhood. Your self-esteem, you allow disrespect from friends, family, and romantic partners. You saw how your parents reacted to situations, or you saw how your parents handled certain things, and the way they may have manipulated things or people, or said certain things in order for them to get their way. All right. How some people may have allowed certain behavior in order to not deal with the conflict. Like maybe your dad was quick to temper, so your mom just learned to kind of hush and push things under the rug so that there was no conflict, so they weren't arguing in front of you guys, but y'all still saw it. Like I said, kids are smart, okay? Kids are very, very smart. I feel like that's what I was talking about. Kids are very, 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 very smart, and once you come into the matrix and you learn about, you see kind of how people operate in this dimension, it just kind of takes everything away from the natural essence, the natural way of living, of the universal laws and principles, okay? So when you see people around you growing up doing and behaving a certain way, then you kind of reflect that, and that's going to be your environment, until you either unlearn that behavior, you and intentionally make a change. You're going to continue to kind of continue those cycles, continue that pattern, because it's all you know. It's all you know, okay? So another characteristic of codependency, your self-esteem and your self-worth are dependent on those you are trying to please. You overschedule yourself with other people's priorities to prove your worth. You overbook yourself. You overbook yourself with other people's priorities in order to prove your wealth, that you are not a sidestepper, that you are not lazy, that you are not incapable, that you are not inadequate, that you are not worthless. You try to, like, yeah, I got a lot going on. Yeah, I'm doing this, this, and that. Yeah, I can attend to everybody. Doesn't anybody have to feel neglected? Because I know how it feels to be neglected. I don't want to neglect anybody because I know how that feeling is, and I don't like that feeling. I want to take on that role. You become this kind of emotional empath where, like I said, you kind of you're hyper aware of other people's needs. You're hypersensitive to other people's feelings and thoughts and emotions, and you easily pick up on that. You're very emotionally empathetic, very high emotional intelligence, and this can kind of leave you always on edge about stuff, feeling anxious, worried, like there's just more to do or more to say or more to be. You will find that you lack boundaries. You will find that you lack boundaries. You have a hard time saying no. You have a hard time dismissing people. You have a hard time putting up a wall, putting up a boundary and sticking to it. Saying that you're not going to do something or not going to allow something, and then you start to think about it. Oh, well, they're going to be mad at me. Oh, well, I can only imagine how they feel. I know how I would feel in the situation. So you start thinking about all this other stuff, and then you start to blame yourself. And again, you start to feel guilt and shame for things you didn't even do. You didn't do nothing. But you start to blame yourself. You start to get in this very codependent energy of, well, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to need to feel, some type of space, some type of void that I didn't have before in childhood, so that I can feel worthy, so that people can see my worth, so that people can see my value. They weren't able to see it growing up, and I'm going to make them see me now, and I'm going to be here for everybody like they were not here for me, okay? I'm going to listen to everybody like they didn't listen to me. I'm not going to be my parents. I'm not going to be my parents and ignore problems, other people's problems, my children's problems. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, you know, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, family, but at the same rate, there has to be a balance, all right? The laws of the universe require duality, all right? Polarity. Everything has to have an opposite. Everything has to have 1551. As I say, that everything has to have a balance, a scale, okay? So you can't be too much of a giver and not receive. You can't allow space for giving, and then don't receive, okay? You can't always complain about not having any help, but then don't want any help. Like you want to do it all by yourself. Like you feel like you're better off doing things by yourself. Well, if that's the case, then don't make other people feel incapable of helping you, okay? Let me finish up because I do want to get you guys some messages. You won't let others help you. You don't trust anyone. You have a hard time trusting. Trust me, sweetie. I'm a Scorpio. Okay, I'm suspicious of everybody. I got my eye on you. All right. So sometimes that just is what it is, but yeah, being codependent characteristic, you can have trust issues because you just seen stuff, and you've kind of felt stuff, and you've kind of seen how things can play out and what things can look like. So you just kind of have you've seen things in people, so you're gonna have a hard time trusting their true intentions, okay? Finally, unrealistic expectations. Like I said, you're a martyr, or you feel rejection and criticism. You fear rejection, criticism, and failure. Okay. So let's get some messages from the ancestors. Give me one second. I'll be right back. I need to get some water because I've been talking.